My mechanics game is Dishonored, the original Dishonored, published by Arkane Studios. It came out on October 9th, 2012. Coincidentally, Arkane is coming out with a PS5 exclusive called Deathloop, which I'm really, really interested in. I might ask, I might buy it and just go to Adam's house to play it when he gets his PS5.
More
Uh,
than welcome.
Thank you. So what it is a stealth action game where you play an assassin known as Corvo. The voice acting is great as well as the graphics. I mean, even at that time, Dishonored looked amazing. I must say I never finished the first one, but I did finish the second one. That being said, the mechanics for this game are great. It's one of the first games that I played that sort of gave you the power of Nightcrawler. And so some of you who never watched X-Men, Nightcrawler was this guy that had a tail and had blue skin, and he could teleport anywhere. And that was his like coolest power, the ability to move to any place. There've been movies that do this, but Nightcrawler was the man. So in Dishonored, you can teleport anywhere. You can, if you see a ledge, if you see a place, if it's in within your vision, you can go there. And as you sort of gain character progression, you gain power. The teleportation becomes much faster, much quicker. I'd highly recommend you Google Dishonored kills on YouTube and watch some of the things. There are some guys with really fast reflexes, younger than me, and they do these amazing like kills where they teleport, slice a guy, teleport here, push this guy down into the river, teleport back, and it's just like the this cool sort of like power fantasy I've always had of not killing people but just teleportation. Um, you will find some like just really cool things. The mechanics of the game, the way you accumulate power, the way you can use power, but at the same time, with all this power, you are still not a god in the game. There are still situations where when you're playing Dishonored, you say you think you can like I can take these guys on. Actually, you can't take these guys. There's just too many guys, and despite having all these superpowers, you still have to be careful. Dishonored also has a really cool world. If you're looking at the trailer next to me, it's sort of like this steampunkish world with sort of magic and robotics and swordplay and like old gunpowder pistols inside, and it's absolutely a fantastic world. But I chose it for my story, for my mechanics, just because to me at that time in 2012. It did some really interesting gameplays with how you can use powers and how you give your players choices by the powers that they have. One thing I will say is that there are situations that require stealth. That's one of the reasons I never finished the first game. Is that I'm not a big stealth person. I like action more. I would say Dishonored 2 is a bit better in that sense, in that you can actually have the choice between stealth and action. But Dishonored 1, there are certain situations where you have to use stealth, others you just can't pass the game at all. Um, very cheap at the moment. Definitely pick this up. It will run on your modern system. It will run on your system from 10 years ago. Absolutely fantastic first-person action stealth game.
All right. So, fun side note: the only reason I played the original Dishonored was actually because Korean, when he bought it, got two copies, and so he gave me his spare copy. I don't know if you remember that or not.
I do not remember that. When was
Yeah,
this?
yeah. They accidentally gave you two copies, and you're like, "Oh, I have this spare copy. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." So that's the only reason I played it. Um,
Oh,
so yeah.
Jesus.
So is this trailer from the original Dishonored, or is this Dishonored 2?
This is the trailer because Dishonored 2 features Corvo's daughter.
Ah, that's right. Was it his daughter? I thought it was the princess that he was supposed to protect or something.
Oh yeah, like he's in the story, he's a pseudo daughter.
His daughter. All right.
Yeah.
So when you played, did you play as the stealth way, or did you go more of an action route?
Oh, I'm very famous in my brothers. I'm always the shoot first, think later kind of person. So I did action as much as I could. There are points where uh, I did have to use stealth, like I said before. That's one of the reasons. Like when I was researching this and I'm looking at my Steam record, I'm like, oh my god, I never finished it. I did finish number two, and I'm like, oh, I should put this on my list of things to play again and actually finish. So I put it on my list, and I'm gonna hopefully play this game somewhere when we do not have a back-breaking backlog and just a backlog.
So how does character progression work? How does the leveling and all that work?
So, hey, didn't you play this?
I did, but maybe our audience didn't.
Oh, yes, good point. So, the way character progression works is you start off the game, there's a story, you get betrayed. If you just saw the trailer, it says revenge is everything. You know, so you go around, you do missions, you meet somebody, and he sort of empowers you with all these supernatural powers. As you do missions, and you find these sort of certain things in the game, I can't remember what they are. Do you remember what they are, Adam?
What
The things
the
that you get.
scrimshaws?
One more time.
The scrimshaws, the whale bones.
Oh, yes. Why do you have such a good memory? So you get the whale bones. Whale bones allow you to get points that allow you to sort of improve your skills or abilities. Skills, abilities, and skills. And there's also, I'm not sure, could you improve the equipment you are carrying? Because I know that you could do that in Dishonored 2. I can't remember if that's in Dishonored
I
1
think
as
you
well.
could in Dishonored 1. I think you
Okay.
could upgrade the knife.
Okay. So yeah, so you've got the physical stuff you carry as well as your supernatural powers, like teleportation, like controlling the rats, like this sort of special supernatural vision that you have. That's how you progress.